Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, it's Zeladon, and I'm gonna explain to you guys today why you want to have at least two characters with premium. In my humble opinion, I think no matter who you are, you want to have at least two characters with premium, unless you're just like really, really super casual and you just don't care about like leveling up fast or efficiently at all. Anyone that really wants to take this game any sort of slight serious, you want to have two characters with premium. And here's why. Well, actually, the long and the short of it is that is learning points. That's the explanation really in a nutshell. Learning points, but yeah, we can go in and give you a little bit more of a detailed explanation here of why that is. Because I mean, you might be playing one character right now and you might be thinking, I can basically do everything with learning points right now. Why would I need two characters? Like, I get plenty of learning points, 20 learning points per day. I can, it only costs like 2 learning points to get my armor leveled up or my crafting or whatever. But it doesn't stay that cheap, not for very long. For example, so this character Zeldon is my main character. He's my combat and gathering character. And for example here, let's see. That is not a good example. Here's a good example. Master Lumberjack. I can't get it yet, but once I do get there, this costs 234 learning points to get to Master Lumberjack. So I'm at level 5 Expert Lumberjack right now, tier 5 right now. When I want to get to tier 6, it's going to cost me 234. And also, for example, I could get to tier 8 skinning right now, which would cost me 368. So once you get to the higher levels, I've been playing since launch, and I have 2,630 learning points saved up because I've been playing since launch, but I really only played the first 3-4 months maybe, and then after that I just kind of went into, I wasn't really into the game anymore, but I was like, maybe I will get back into the game someday. So I made sure I tried to keep my premium up and running as much as possible, so I could stack up all these learning points. And yeah, here I am back in the game, and I have 2,630 learning points saved up because I at least took the time to do some farming. And as you can see here, I have tier 8, 100 crop farming on this character now because I basically took the time to do that to make some silver and, keep my premium going even when I wasn't really playing the game very much. But yeah, anyway, that's the main reason. Mostly because, yeah, these abilities get really, really expensive the further and further you get down the line. Also, for example, at level 15, like Nature Combat Specialist, the specialist abilities, or whatever you want to call them, the specialist trees are the ones that you want to actually spend the most of your learning points on because they are very, very slow, and they give you the most. They give you tons and tons of item power and stuff for those. So some people actually recommend going with three characters with premium. One that's combat only, one that's gathering only, one that's crafting only. Crafting also is very, very expensive. I don't really do much crafting on this character, but I can't really show you an example of how expensive it gets. I can switch to my crafting character and show you that in a moment. Also, one thing to take note of is that farming stuff you cannot use learning points on. All farming stuff you just have to grind it out. You can't use learning points to speed that up at all, unfortunately. And also refining. So gathering, refining, you want to use your same gathering character to refine with, and getting up to those higher levels of refining is also very, very expensive. I haven't used any learning points on refining. I think some people say that you should. I don't think really it's that important, but I mean, it is important. But yeah, it's really really expensive. It's even more expensive than the gathering ability itself. So that's up to you. If you have the 3 character setup where you have a gatherer and guy that's just doing gathering and refining, then yeah, you want to do both. But if you're doing the 2 character setup with like I am, where you have one character as your combat and gatherer, and then the other character as your crafter, you can't really afford that because you want to mostly be putting your points into your combat specialties and your gathering. Refining, you don't really need to put points into that. And also, even if you don't want to do combat at all, I still recommend you have a 2 character setup because you can have your one character as your crafter, and you're gonna need a character as a gatherer anyway to fund your crafting, right? I mean, I guess you could, if you're really really good, you could just buy materials and then try to flip all the crafted materials, but that doesn't really work out so well usually. Usually, the cost of the end result from crafting is actually you're actually losing money from that. Like all the materials are usually more expensive than the actual end result. So it's usually best to sell the materials rather than the end results, unless it's like a really super rare like relic item that's of excellent quality or something like that. Usually you're losing money after crafting. So yeah, here's my crafter, for example. And I haven't really done that much crafting. I just do the stuff that I need for my character. So like I use leather boots on my character. I have my leather shoes up there pretty high. Same with the weapons that I use. I mostly use nature staff. So I have my nature staff up there pretty high. But actually, yeah, the crafting stuff doesn't really cost as much as far as learning points go. But at the same time, I didn't really have this character constantly with premium. As you can see here, this one's only at 1500, only at 1500. So I didn't really have his premium up constantly. But so crafting, you don't really have to focus too hard on. But yeah, it does get somewhat expensive at some points. So with your crafting character, you don't really need quite as many learning points, but still, it's enough to warrant that you should use a second character because, like this right here, for example, this is like 20 learning points. That's how many do you get? Do you get 20 per day? I think 20 per day or something. I can't remember exactly how much you get, but that's a day's worth of learning points right there, which at the very start, 20 learning points is a lot. That could prevent you from getting to your next tier of gathering, which, in my opinion, gathering is 100% the most important thing in this game. So, yeah, there you have it. That's why you should have at least 2 characters with premium. And like I said, you could probably do only every other month with your crafter character. If you wanted to play it like that, just do every other month with your crafter, and it should be fine. Unless you are trying to do every single thing here. Of course, if you want to craft all the things, then you're going to need to keep your crafter up with premium every single month of every day of every month. But if you're only doing stuff just for yourself, you can just do like every other month, maybe even every 3 months, and you should be fine. But that's the gist of it. That's why you should try to play 2 characters and split your focus between different stuff. You can do all the things on one character. I mean, it is technically possible to do all the things on one character, but yeah, it would take a very, very long amount of time. Using multiple characters with learning points is a little bit more, makes a little bit more sense, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the gist of it. I would highly suggest going with 2 characters. I know it's really, really expensive, especially premium right now is very, very expensive. And starting out, it's like, oh my god. I was trying to make a video to tell you guys, like, see if there's any really good ways to make silver right now, but everything's just too crazy. The market is way too crazy right now. The market is way, way, way too crazy. Man, gold is dropping like crazy though. That's a good thing for you guys. That means the gold or the premium price is directly connected to the gold price. So as the gold drops, that means premium price drops as well. So now we're well under 4 million, but yeah, there's no really surefire way to make silver right now. I mean, I would say just gather your heart out. Tier 5 is usually the sweet spot for gathering. Like, people pay a lot for Tier 5 because that's the big bottleneck. The biggest bottleneck in the game is Tier 5. But the market is just so flooded right now. It's like, you can't really, there's no way to really make a good amount of silver. There's just so many new players, and they're flooding the market with so much just crafting materials that you're not really getting your money's worth from doing it. I think the best way right now is simply just running expeditions. Just run expeditions over and over, and that's pretty much it. That's what I would do. Anywho, that's my 2 cents. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit all those buttons in the description. Click the links. And we'll see you guys next time for the next video. Have a good one. Peace. GG's.